evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nights at the Brown Table. This is a podcast of three Pacific Islanders sharing their view and the lens through which we see the world. I'm Sefa.
Good evening, everyone. It is your quintessential, your songstress, your seamstress, the mistress, and the mattress, the one and only, deriving all the way from Sydney, Australia, Lamah. Hi. Sefa, we're missing somebody.
I think we are.
Where's Sila?
The text message was very evasive. She said something about going to Melbourne, but I'm going to assume that means she has coronavirus.
Sis, thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. But we do have a replacement for the week, a special guest.
My one and only sis, my nemesis, come through.
Hey, my name's Lauaki.
If I were to ask to describe yourself in 3 words, what are those 3 words that you'd describe yourself in, Lauaki?
Tongan, cringe, broke.
Love that.
I'm so glad it was cringe. I thought you were going to say Tongan Crips.
You know when you first asked that question, the first thing that popped up in my head was Tongan. Because he TGA, sis. He TGA.
Yeah. So we'll go straight in. This came in from Noah. And she asked, how has your world been affected by the pandemic? Conspiracy theories versus facts. And we thought that would be something interesting to talk about, specifically here in New South Wales, about 6 new cases that arose overnight, that it will now be mandatory to stay in lockdown an extra 10 days for those who do refuse to be tested after being 14 days in quarantine. So a total of 24 days, almost a month.
Personally, it's affected my social life a lot.
Wow, first world problems.
I mean, if that's what it's come down to, that's pretty sad. It's affected me financially. And now I know how people be doing like all that Centrelink kind of stuff now.
What do you mean by that?
Because our parents were hardworking, so we didn't know what Centrelink was and all that. We didn't know how to get on it. When I like at work, because I work with a lot of like low to middle class working people, everyone talks and like shifts have been like going crazy, and I just keep hearing everyone say like, did you take out your 10K? Did you take out your 10K? Or like, we all signed up to Centrelink. Like, you should just sign up to Centrelink. So best believe, mate, I put that to the test. I got my 10K out. I signed up to Centrelink. Not really getting much from it, but I mean, I'm not living a breeze. But now I know how a lot of people be living their life under the radar on Centrelink. It's so easy now. But I mean, that's how, that's a pandemic, RIP to people and their livelihoods. But I mean, get on Centrelink, because I mean, there's some free money there, sis.
Wait, so let's talk about quarantine. How
oh my gosh, I was
the whole
quarantine.
pandemic and when Miss Rona first came through and did all that in the bag of chips to everybody's livelihood.
Yeah, she done that to my Bali trip. I remember in March when it first happened, we flew out to Bali. 3 days in, everyone's like, oh, they're locking the borders down. You got to come home. Best believe I was like, I paid hard good money for Bali.
Hang on. The timeline doesn't fit up, because I'm pretty sure quarantine lockdown happened and then y'all left.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I lied. Yep. We were told not to travel, but we still went. Yep. That's what happened. And as soon as we left the country, we had found out that we had missed the lockdown, thing. So when we came back, we had to do 14 days of lockdown. And I'm not going to lie, I was a bit flexible with my schedule and where I spent my time during quarantine. But I mean, it was a good self-reflection.
Yeah. Self-reflection. Love that.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, okay, so you went to Bali and then you came back to Sydney. Did you notice like the differences, whether it was like checking back into the country?
Oh, best believe, like, in Bali, like, because as soon as we got to Bali, a few days passed and everyone was rushing back to get wherever the hell they're from. The flight to Sydney, when we came back, it was one of the last flights coming back home, like, because then they shut down the airports and stuff. Bro, everyone was on panic mode, like, and because we were in Bali, no one really cared at the time. Still didn't care, to be honest. But mate, as soon as we flew back into the country, no one wanted to have a bar of us. Everyone were like, hey, who wants to hang out? We were isolation for 14 days and people were like, no, you need to stay away from us because you might have coronavirus. Even though I knew I didn't. I mean, that's stupid to say, but yeah, everyone was acting. I want to say acting up, but I mean they were acting what they were meant to be acting.
They were just taking precautionary measures.
Yeah, maybe I was being irrational, but I mean, yeah. But it did hit me when I wanted to visit my family, and because we had like little kids under all the ages, we weren't allowed to see them, and that kind of hit me a little bit. But I mean, other than that, Rashay's, they served good food. Macca's drive-through was really good.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good.
Love that.
So it's interesting. So along with the question that Noah had sent along, there is a video, and we just watched the video right before we started recording. Like just to give some statistics, there are just over 3,000 cases in New South Wales alone, 51 deaths. In Australia as a whole, it's 7,500 cases, active cases, and 104 deaths. And the guy that's being interviewed, it's one of those street interviews, and he kind of just dismisses it and says very nonchalantly, it's, if my grandma were to get sick and die from coronavirus, he's like,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Thoughts?
So this video is hilarious because, like you said, he was very nonchalant with his answers, and it's actually pretty interesting because when we kind of look at how Australia has been throughout this whole pandemic, I'm not to say that we've done a good job, but compared to the other countries who have, with America alone, in one day they've surged up to like over 40,000 new cases. So I guess for a lot of people, especially for the younger people, maybe it's hard for them to kind of grasp the reality of it all because it hasn't been so... Well, I mean, like, we had a lockdown, but they never owned up, like, they never verbalized, like, lockdown. It was always like, okay, now you can only have one person at your house, and now you can have none.
It's never been yeah.
So I guess with these young people, like, the sentiment is that they haven't seen the reality of it compared to like America or Europe, who have these staggering cases where wearing a mask is a policy to enter particular places. So I can kind of understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, like on national television, I don't know.
At the same time, that's your grandma.
Yeah,
that's true.
So when the interviewer asked him, so if you went to see your 93-year-old grandma, and she contracted coronavirus from you, what would you do? And he was like, well, it is what it is.
But that's not like a new sentiment. Hey, that's a real conversation that people are having. That's a real voice that exists in the world, that there are a group of people that believe this pandemic
is not real.
Maybe not even not real, but to be fair, maybe they don't believe that it is as deadly to the population as a whole as the way it's being portrayed.
Well, I guess like when everything was happening, we had very severe measures put in place with New South Wales, right? Yep. Despite having those severe measures, there were still people like gallivanting around, frolicking to the beach.
That's me.
To Bali.
To Bali.
Hit up my stories, please.
As soon as they land, going to McDonald's as soon as they land, even though they're supposed to be in self-isolation. But, it is what it is.
It was worth it, Lauaki.
My grandma's 93.
But you know what I mean? Like, so despite all these heavy measures, like we still saw a lot of people
living
kind of
their life.
Whatever.
Yeah, in the beginning.
But that's just, I can definitely echo that. I live in Maryland, and Maryland Shopping Center, it was popping every Saturday. I was about to say Sunday. I don't go shopping on Sunday. Maybe, I don't know. But on Saturdays, for sure, it was popping, man. The coffee club was a hot spot. Everybody's like when they had banned sit-down restaurants. Not in Maryland. Apparently, everywhere but Maryland was shut down.
Yeah, hard.
Shisha places were still open, eh?
Still going out. Yeah, for real.
I did have to go get tested because I did get sick. Test is very
lengthy.
No, it's just it's intrusive. Very intrusive. Like they shove a swab all the way up pretty much to the bridge of your nose, past it, and it hits a sensitive spot. I felt like I was going to enter the Avatar state. Wow. And my eyes rolled to the back of my head. Put me in a proper setting. It was like I was speaking in tongues. Like, it was very intrusive. And so...
Did you get compensated for that?
No,
It's free.
It was free. It was free. I didn't have to pay, and they didn't pay me. Yeah.
You don't have to pay to get something stuck in your friggin' nose.
No, to get tested. No, it was
Not
free.
for a pandemic.
No, no, Lauaki. You're saying it as if I'm giving them a service. I'm not a lab rat. I'm benefiting from this.
When this whole pandemic kind of came through, and as bad as it may seem to say, I really thrived through the season of just, well, not the season, but I thrived from the notion of like, you know, like I said in the first episode, not having to come up with an excuse to kind of hang out with people. Especially because I feel like in the beginning of the year, there was a bit of tension between just things that were happening in my life at that time. But coronavirus, and I hate saying like, but coronavirus gave me this new outlook. But what it did, it made me introspective. So I spent a lot of time kind of just to myself. Because like 2020, I like for me, it wanted to be the year where I went out and smashed my goals, whatever that was.
Yep.
But Miss Verna came and did her thing, and I was like, oh, okay. This is a block in the road. Let's detour and see what comes from it. And 6 months on, and we're still here.
And podcast is here. Do you feel like what America did and what New Zealand did, do you feel like we fit in like the spectrum in the middle of them two? So
in terms of like how Australia has handled
yeah,
it?
because I feel like Australia was kind of mimicking whatever New Zealand did, but like to like a less degree.
So I feel like we kind of did it in waves as well. It was like, you know, we could only have a specific amount of people, and then it went to, no, you can't have anyone, or no, you can't be outside unless you have a reason.
Oh, but we also have like only 26 million people in this whole country anyway, eh?
Yeah.
That could affect that.
Well, I think with the way Australia did it differently to America, and why I'm more inclined that we're on the New Zealand side, is that we at least closed our borders. Because I had a trip planned in May to go to the States, and my caution wasn't, I wasn't concerned that I wouldn't be allowed into America.
It's coming back.
It was coming back into Australia, and what the repercussions were for that I was more concerned about. And so Australia, at the very least, shut its borders. What happened within Australia, it's like, okay, we're trying to flatten the curve. It
was just our own
It was our own people.
Yeah.
But with the States, their borders weren't really closed. And I don't know if it is closed now. I think the only reason they're closed was because the flights closed. Not because America actually closed its borders. Whereas Australia and New Zealand were like, okay, if you're not a citizen, you pretty much have to prepare yourself to stay here. Otherwise, you have this amount of time to get out.
To get out. Yeah, facts, eh? That probably affects it differently too, because like they border with like Mexico and Canada, right? That's like land borders.
Yeah.
Whereas us, like, I mean, no one's going to be creeping in our borders anytime soon.
But they did, though. No, but there were people.
But the British did.
But somehow you still did. So
Yeah. Bali 2021.
No regrets, Lord. No regrets.
somehow
You did end a whole cruise ship.
Oh my god.
somehow you were still outside on day 8.
What do you mean since day one?
Archery.
Is there a crazy fact that you heard about coronavirus that's not even real?
Well, like, I seen that. I actually watched that Netflix. Is it a Korean movie? That Asian movie?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it was like,
What's it called?
Oh, it's a TV series, but in like one of the episodes, it literally says coronavirus, like, and how they started it. Yeah, like they created it in a lab and then they released it to the people, and like a lot of people were like, oh, you know, it was planned, like da 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 da. So I saw that, and did you guys also get like inboxes from like people that had messages?
What's that noise?
It's my chair because I'm fat.
Oh.
Give me another chair.
Go start from inboxes.
Yeah, well, like, yeah. Did you guys get those inboxes where people were like sitting around like, oh, you know, coronavirus is a lie? Did you guys get that?
That sounds like a chain mail.
Yeah, those chain.
And you had to send it to 10 people before it rapes your dog at night?
Yeah, you know,
Wow.
Tongan people be doing all that. They share everything. I can't deal. But that was one of them. Did you get that?
No, I didn't. I don't think we're on the same chain now.
I need to block my aunties and uncles. That's right.
But what did the email say anything?
Yeah, it was like coronavirus is a normal virus. It, like, you get it, and then it's just like when you're sick, You know what I mean? Like your immune system will just defeat it. It was like it's all a lie. They want to put a chip in you. It was like all that kind of stuff. You know, propaganda.
Conspiracy theories.
Love that.
I don't. What are you? Okay, obviously the 5G tower causing coronavirus is not true.
That was a New Zealand thing, eh? I saw it in New Zealand a lot.
No, that was no. It was the States, bro. All of this stuff was started from the States. But what do you think about the chip? Putting a chip in you, with the whole Bill Gates being attached to it.
Mark of the Devil or whatever it's called.
I didn't know.
He's spearheading the front on trying to find a vaccine, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's only because he's going to put like nano chips in the vaccine to control us or whatever." What do you reckon?
So I'm just getting like iRobot.
Yes.
The iRobot realness, like that fantasy of being overtaken by technology.
Well,
Like, are we just like robots in the system?
Well, aren't we already, like, figuratively, aren't we already enslaved to technology?
I mean, that is an interesting point, but it does bring up a bigger question. Are we humans or are we dancers?
I'm a dancer for sure.
Last dancer. I'm sorry.
No, but like, yeah, no, there's some crazy stuff out there. One of the things, there's a debate about the effectiveness of masks.
Oh.
So coronavirus is airborne, right?
Yep.
No,
Oh.
Is it not?
it's not airborne. That's one of the facts. Yeah, how it is spread
water.
is the water, the droplets from your mouth, from like so if you cough or sneeze.
Okay, for me personally, I would consider that kind of like airborne because it's like in the air, and then like it
So
lands
like,
on
yeah,
you.
you could cough on someone, and that cough, if it goes
Because of the
into
droplets.
Yeah.
So does that does it make sense to wear one then? Because you can cough with the mask on, right? Like you're not portraying water droplets.
Well, first of all, if you're coughing like that with your hand over your mouth, that is
sounds
the
like
wrong way to
coronavirus,
cough.
Actually, that actually sounds
You're supposed to cough into your elbow
that's a dab.
like that. If there are places that have particular kind of policies to enter those stores, like there's no harm in wearing a mask because you'd rather be safe than sorry at the end of the day.
I mean, businesses have been starting up because of that, eh? Like face mask businesses.
Yeah, like new designs.
Can't even deal.
Especially online businesses too.
Yeah. They booming. Like a loom.
Wow.
I was very successful with the loom. So if I owe you money, just hit up my TikTok.
Whoa.
If you joined his loom and he cashed out early, unlucky us.
Thanks for paying for my Bali trip.
Wow.
Join my loom 2021.
Join me in Bali.
Well, I work in a hospital. So wash your hands, wear a mask if you can, or if you need to, or if you're out in public spaces that require you to wear a mask, just wear a mask. You'll rather do it than potentially cause harm.
Yeah.
That's why they tell you to avoid touching your face because it can still enter through your eyes. Again, the mask in regards to does it block it totally? No, but it is a preventative measure that can.
It's kind of like a condom. It can.
It's 99.9%.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's the same
Effective.
thing, right? Like condoms can.
It's a condom for your face.
It's legit a condom for your face.
But there's always that 1%.
Exactly. That's
1% chance.
because it could rip.
And y'all know
Wow.
it could rip.
The face mask could rip. Latex.
Wow.
Oh my gosh! If you're my cousin, you're listening to this. Is so awkward. I'm so sorry. I know. I'm so sorry. And I'm tongue. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so here's a list of some other things that it has come from wet animals or the wet market.
That's something to discuss. What's your take on where it came from?
Oh, the China disease.
The China virus.
Okay, so the one that I have been told is that it was an outbreak from a facility.
Yeah.
Oh.
In Wuhan.
Yeah.
Facility in Wuhan, yeah.
Oh, facility. That's what you mean, like a market, not like a lab.
like
No, like a lab.
Yeah, like a
Facility.
lab.
Not like a bathroom. A lab.
Like it was created.
No, like it was just an outbreak that they were, I don't know what they were doing like, experimenting with viruses or whatever they were doing.
That same evolutionary biologist, he shared that there is strains where the traces of the stage at which coronavirus is able to be shared, like through the droplets or whatever,
It's progressive.
you should be able to trace it in the virus itself. It will show traits of how it developed to have that ability. It progressed that way. And so he's saying you can't see that in coronavirus. There's no evidence currently that exists that where it developed naturally like a normal virus would. And so he says it's most likely that it was created. Whether it was deliberately spread or not, no. But like Lamah was saying, it was an outbreak. I that's the one I'm with too.
Sorry, I'm still here with the with
China
the
virus.
with the they didn't cook it thoroughly. Because I mean salmonella from a bat. I'm still on the salmonella thing. So
Salmonella from a bat. Wow.
yeah, big bat, small bat, any bat, batter bat.
Wow, salmonella.
Yep,
Wow, I love that.
that's it.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much that's true, right? But that's the origin, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, Wuhan.
You know what? I actually haven't really kind of delved into the origins of coronavirus itself. It's just all I know. It's stay away from it. Get tested. Wear a mask. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
And that's not hard things to do.
Should we care about where it came from?
I think so. It's treated. Other than that, no. Like in regards to laying blame,
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Because then, like, do you know, like, the Spanish flu?
Yeah.
How that killed, like, so many people. And we actually do call it the Spanish flu. Did it come from Spain?
To be honest, I don't know. That's not a part of history that we.
Like, I mean, so, like, you know, by Donald Trump calling it the Chinese disease.
Yeah.
Is that wrong? Because, I mean, there's already a Spanish flu, though. Do you know what I'm trying to say here?
It's hard to say because like I'm not very well versed in American politics,
Oh.
nor do I follow the antics of Trump himself.
Oh, yeah.
If his intent wasn't to be what he is,
but
then
he is.
in my mind I was like, I don't think there's anything wrong with naming where it came from because that's where it came from. But you know that's not his intent.
Yeah, he's...
You know it wasn't.
Okay, yeah, alright. Okay, I get that now. I love Chinese food, though, so I don't mind. Loves me some rice, to be honest.
I miss Sila.
Sila, come back to the podcast. I think they hate me.
So with coronavirus in mind, it has obviously caused 2020 to not be cancelled. We're not going to cancel 2020. We're going to get through this together. And I think we'll make it because we are human people.
Okay, sis.
We are Homo sapiens.
Oh.
And we're going to make it together forever and always. And
Lauaki's
Fade
face.
out music.
Lauaki's
So dramatic, bro.
Lauaki's face.
Oh my god.
no, I'm just saying, just in general, we'll be good. Like,
Yeah.
we've got this.
And
Can everybody say, we got this?
we got this.
No.
Okay.
Everybody say, we've got this.
We've got this.
We've got
We
this.
got this. Oh, I can't do that.
Let's harmonize it together.
right,
5,
let's go.
6, 7, 8. We. Well, let's find the note first.
Yeah.
Was
I thought that was alright.
Wait, what note are you doing?
Whatever.
Okay, we're going to.
gonna
We
sing it
are
out.
going to
We are going to, that's the words. We are going to,
improvise.
we're gonna improvise. Is that what we say?
Yep. Okay. Ready? 3,
Okay.
2, 1. We've got this. An original from Lauaki and Lamah.
Wait, don't be putting my name on that.
Wow.
Okay.
Please no more offers.
This is actually going to be relative because Lauaki actually knows my mum. In recent years, she's been diagnosed with diabetes. Yeah, unfortunate. She knew that it was in our genes, and so she was getting back into exercising. She was eating as healthy as she could, but she kept a pack of sour worms in her room and she would always eat them. And so she kept finding herself fatigued and tired, and she kept going to the doctor, getting blood tests and saying, like, I'm eating healthy, I'm exercising. Why does it feel like my, like her sugar levels are still low? So she explains to the doctor, this is what I'm eating. When she gets to the lollies part, she gets to the sour worms. He goes, that's it.
Oh, shucks.
And then her response is, but they're sour.
Oh, love that.
So,
Not sweet, they're sour.
is there something, a fact or something that you heard when, as an adult, where you're thinking, how the hell did I get through primary school and high school and not know what the hell that is, or not know that fact? What's something that it's like, oh, duh, how did you not know that?
Oh my gosh, but I mean, she's right though.
What? That they're sour?
I mean, they're sour though. Oh my gosh, that's sugar. Dog.
Yes, that's the punchline,
that's
Lauaki.
the fact. You know what? I got that. No, because I know what you mean. Like, there's heaps of things like that. Especially growing up in a heavily Polynesian influenced family. There's so many duh moments. Like, there's been words where I grew up not knowing the English translation for.
Like what?
It's like, I think bui bui, curtain was one. I never called it curtain once growing up.
And how did you get caught out on it?
I think I was at school and someone was, because it's called blinds, right? At school and stuff. And I didn't know. And I was like, oh my gosh, can you, like, my teacher was telling me something about curtains and I didn't know what she was talking about. And someone showed me what it was and I was like, oh, that's a bui bui. She's like, what are you on about? And I'm like, that's a bui bui. And she's like, it's a curtain. And she actually showed me the dictionary and I was like, OMG, I'm a fob. Today and further.
Lamah?
I don't even know.
Well, is there not something that you
Bullying.
realised?
What?
No. You call it bullying apparently.
Not putting specific. I just need in general. What besides words? Like, is there something that you had, like, where you're thinking, how the hell did I not piece that together?
Oh, educated are we?
I'm thinking.
Okay, sweet.
I don't even know. I can't think of anything. Do you have another example that you've had?
That's a pretty good example. I mean, they were sour.
Okay, wow. You want to come at me?
I'm trying to think of another one as well for me personally, because that's my mum's story. I'm trying to think of there was something to do with the Apple logo that I didn't know what I didn't know about it.
Oh, that it's meant to be Adam's, how Adam and Eve bit the apple?
What?
No, he meant the actual Apple, like Mac, Apple, the company.
Yeah, that's why I gotta buy it. Because it's meant to signify how Eve and Adam and Eve
You're
ate the
lying.
apple.
That is not
That's a
true.
conspiracy theory, I swear, wallah.
Wait.
Go explain the conspiracy theory. For
Wait,
this.
legit. So some people think that Apple's gonna take over the world because it's like part of that new world order. I mean, like, Apple is taking over the world, to be honest. And they say that that's what the logo represents.
Wow.
And it's like the logo.
We're all wearing the brand.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, why is there a bite in the logo?
Well, I think it's to make the apple look more interesting. If it was just a complete apple, it'd look kind of boring.
But we don't know
orange.
that because we only know what it came out with.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, when you said, like, is it true, like, if you can't hold your breath for 10 seconds underwater, then you've got coronavirus? I mean, I've been living with it my whole life then, with my asthma. But, like, there's other things, like, you know, back in the witch hunt days when they're like, oh, if we're going to throw you in the barrel, if you don't float, then you're a witch. You know those witch hunt stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much the same thing, and people be doing that with coronavirus. Like, I mean, damn.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I see the connection.
Sorry,
but I don't think we're witch hunting. Are we witch hunting? Yeah, are we witch hunting?
Like, don't you reckon? Because people out there be like,
to be honest,
do you, I even told, like, my housemate this. I'm like, when I walk around in public now and I want to sneeze or cough, I'm like, oh my God, I've got coronavirus.
True.
Like, don't you feel like you look at other people and if you cough, you look at them and they're looking at you and they're like, you need to get
for
tested.
real, you just got the evil
vibe. Yeah.
people looking through your soul.
they're looking for a virus.
They're looking to behead you.
Yeah, like it's kind of like that now, and it's like snitch in people if you think. Can't you snitch?
Yes.
Wait,
You can report people.
Did you not know that?
You can.
Like,
If you see something, say
Bro,
something.
I was on the verge of reporting this guy
Every
so many
day
times.
I'm going places, he's like, I am reporting you. I'm like, serious?
I have screenshotted.
Wait. But see, the thing is, you're reporting him for violating the quarantine rule, not for
Yeah.
having coronavirus.
But they're like, that's
Still though.
Yeah, because they can still. That's the
still
same
snitching
thing.
him.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I'm still snitching.
So yeah, I think coronavirus has brought the beauty and the ugly out of people. You reckon?
Well, yeah, because a lot of people are taking more precaution measures when they're outside in public, which I think is good.
Which is good.
Some are a bit excessive, but like maybe you need to be excessive in the pandemic. It's a pandemic for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I don't know what you mean because I didn't abide by the rules.
No, like people are just like worried that because there are people out there that think of the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
When it comes to things like this.
Yeah.
Like their 93-year-old
Like-
grandma.
Literally, like, have you seen those photos of people wearing the most bizarre things out in public?
I seen what they're trying to do. I don't know if it was Florida or California. It's like a bubble. It's a 1.5 bar kind of thing, and it's if you want to go out to drink and stuff, you go up to the thing, but everyone's got their own bar around them that's 1.5. I'm like, that's probably heavy to carry around. But I mean, you're
what the
walking.
bubble is.
Oh,
Like an actual bubble that you
no, like it's meant to be like a bubble, but it's like a bar
frame around.
Yeah, 1.5 where they put your drink. Yeah, and you're walking around.
Innovative.
People out here just trying to get their buck back. To be honest, I reckon.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode. I'm Sefa.
Oh, I'm Lauaki.
I am the one and only one and only Lamah on the ass.
Ugh.
Why? Why?
It's 50 minutes. I'm just stuff.
That's good.